Hi everyone, I'm Jimaku Brimstone and welcome to the review of Tyrant, the second studio album by the band Aversions Crown. Today we're celebrating the 10th anniversary of the record, so I decided to go back and see if it still holds up or not. My story with this band starts in the year 2013. That's when I stumbled upon a standalone single from this band called Overseer, which was later recorded for this record, and that song Overseer was just perfect. I loved it and I was like, I have to check out more stuff from this band, so I've decided to listen to their debut EP and the first record, but those two releases weren't that interesting to me. They're okay deathcore music, standard stuff. It's fun but nothing special, but then a second single was released called Hollow Planet and they said that new album is coming and I was like, wow, Hollow Planet is so great. And later Tyrant came out and I was like, yeah, I'm a big fan of this band now. Now let's focus on Tyrant. So when it comes to the lineup, we've got Colin Jeffs on the vocals. This is his last album with the band, he was one of the founding members. We've got Chris on the guitars, also one of the founding members. Jaden on the drums, also one of the founding members. And then we have Jay Coombs and Hayden Lee. For them, this is the only record with the band because they would leave in like 2015. And we also have Michael on the third guitar. This was his first record with the band and he's still with them. The producer for this record is Andy Marsh, you might know him, he's the guitarist of the band Die Artist Murder, and mixing mastering was done by the legend himself, Mark Lewis. The production on the record is tight, it's clean but punchy, I love the power it has. You can hear the guitars, the drums, the vocals mixed perfectly. The only problem I have with this production is that the bass is almost non-existent. You can hear the bass drops and stuff like that, but yeah, the bass is like buried underneath the production. Everything else is on point, especially the guitar sound and the vocals. Message is diverse. Now let's move here for a second. So I feel like this entire record is a concept album about some hive mind coming to basically our planet to kill us all. So yeah, it's about aliens, space. The lyrics are actually quite fun. We have some very quotable lines here and there, which I am going to talk about later on. Nice lyrics, go check them out. They're just as fun as the music. When it comes to the structure of these songs, it's advanced. Usually the track starts with an intro or a verse, then we get a pre-chorus, then the chorus, then another verse or a completely new part, then it morphs into the breakdown, then they either go back to the first verse or the pre-chorus or again surprise us with something new, and after that they will go back to either chorus and the pre-chorus or the verse. And after that we get a second breakdown and then an outro. That's how usually the structure here works. When it comes to the music on this album, it could be described as technical deathcore. They play around with the tempo changes, they go very fast, then they slow down for the breakdowns or the verses. The guitar playing is very technical, same with the drumming. Now I will focus a bit on the musicianship on this album. Let's start with the drums. The drummer is phenomenal. I love his playing, his groove, the speed, the blast beats. His leg work is phenomenal. Yeah, everything is like perfect here. Next we've got the bass work, which is almost non-audible, but I guess the bassist is there and he's mostly following what the guitarists are playing. The guitar work on this record, again fantastic. I love how they mix some of the heavier, faster parts with those very atmospheric guitar riffs in the background. They create this very eerie atmosphere that you're not going to forget about. It's one of the things that I always remember about this record is that every song has a part or two where the guitars are like, playing those very cool melodies in the background, and they stay in your head. Last but not least, we've got Colin with his vocals, and wow, I love his growling, his deep growls, the screaming. All of the techniques he's using on this album are just fantastic. I love hearing him. It's so sad that this is the last album with him on the vocals, because I feel like he could have done so much more. Now let's get back to the individual tracks. Hollow Planet, the album's opener. This one is one of the better tracks on the album, but not this version. You should listen to the single version because it has a different mix. For some reason, on the album version, some of the melodies are missing, and like the main guitar riffs are like buried underneath everything else. It's like someone made a mistake and he like make the guitars quieter than the rest of the stuff. It's so weird to listen to. Like, if you've only heard the album version, go check out the single version, like the music video one. It's way better balanced and like it sounds way better. This version, on the other hand, while the vocalist has more deeper growls on it, and that's very fun, I feel like the instrumental work has basically suffered because of how weird the production sounds on this song. This is the only song that has this problem on the entire album, so yeah, you should check out the single version. And this album version, well, it's still the same fantastic song, which I love, you know, the breakdown, punish the world, the planet is collapsing. I love that stuff. The outro, tin tin tin, that cool melodic guitar riff, and doo-dum, 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 the breakdown, the main guitar riffs, which sound like an alien invasion, also fantastic. Yeah, every single second of this song is great, but I am just so disappointed with the production and this re-recording, which is not even half as good as the single version. So 9 out of 10, but 11 out of 10 to the single version. The Glass Ascension, or however you pronounce that, this is one of my all-time favorite songs on this album. It was also released as a single because I remember it having a lyric video, and wow, this song, I would replay it all the time. I love how the tempo shifts, like the song starts very fast and heavy, but the outro and the final breakdown, you know, they're going to be more smoother, more slower. The vocalist shifts between the growls and the screaming, and that first very angry screaming part, like something like that, and I was like, wow, there are blast beats underneath that part, so you probably also remember that one. Yeah, fantastic work, the guitar riffs, and that cool break in the middle, you know, with that melody, dun, dun, dun. And then, you know, that iconic line, they exist in me. Great stuff. Another fantastic song. Every single moment here is memorable and fun to experience. 11 out of 10. Conqueror, I don't remember if this had a music video or not. I might be mistaken and Vectors had a music video. Anyways, Conqueror is a great song, but it's not as good as the previous ones. I love the vocals, the atmosphere, the drumming, the breakdowns, and the eerie melodies. But besides that, yeah, this is kinda like a filler track, but it doesn't have any part that is going to sound bad. Like, the entire song is just great. It's crafted fantastic, but it does not stand out. So yeah, this is just 10 out of 10, perfect track, nothing more. Same with Vectors. Vectors has a very cool breakdown in the middle, where only the drummer is playing his legwork, and one of the guitarists is doing this very cool alien guitar riff. Wow. Yeah, I love that part, wish there was more of it, but the entire song is also fantastic, similar to the previous one. 10 out of 10. Earth Sterilizer, this one brings more of the energy, because Vectors was like more laid back. It was still heavy, don't get me wrong, but Earth has a faster tempo, it's straight to the point. I love, again, the breakdowns and the melodies. What else can I say? You know, 10 out of 10. Avalanche, this one features Nick Arthur of Molotov Solution. This band actually came back this year, they've released a single, so that's very nice. Avalanche again is very similar to the previous song, so yeah, the breakdowns slap, the guitar riffs fantastic, same with the drumming and the bass work. Everything is just perfect. The vocals, especially the guest feature, also great. 10 out of 10. Xenoforms. Now this is my all-time favorite song from this record. It's like the best one. Not even the Glass track can be compared to this one. I love how it begins with that very breakdownish melody. All of civilization, endless fucking ruin. And then like at the first minute and the 6th second, we get blast beats and the vocals is like screaming. I love that part so much because underneath it all, we have that very melodic tremolo guitar riff. It's just so soothing and so beautiful, and then when the blast beats are over, the melody is still being played in the background, but we have new guitar riffs, new kind of vocals, new drum parts above it. So that's very cool. I've always enjoyed that part, and what's even more interesting is the breakdown in the middle. I love how he says there's something along the lines of liberate all of your fucking move, the rift is open. Something like that. I just love that part. The rift is open. It's truly opened, like fantastic breakdown. It's just always in my head every single second of that part. So yeah, this is one of the most memorable tracks for me on the record because every section is different from each other and it brings something new to the table. It's always so fun to listen to. I don't understand why this song was not released as a single with a music video, because it deserves it. Probably it's hard to play live, but besides that, yeah, this is one of all-time best tracks by this band, period. 11 out of 10. Overseer. Now this is the song, as I told you before, that started my journey with this band. It's not as good as the single version, as you can guess, but it has way better vocals. Like the vocalist goes so low here. Separate the weak-minded to become creators and hosts for my children. I love how when he says children, it's like three voices are saying that line at the same time. Like, it's so memorable. So yeah, the vocal parts here slap, the guitar riffs, perfect, same with the drumming and the atmosphere of this song. Yeah, it's one of the best tracks from this band, but again I have to criticize how on this version of this song there are some changes, like parts of the track are missing. For example, there's a very fast part like before the middle where the voice is screaming, and before that we have like a build up to it, and on the single version you can hear that the build up is connected to the bass player, because basically the drummer and the bassist are playing like dun 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 dun, and that part is completely missing on the album version. It makes the build up so hollow and like pointless basically. So again, I don't know if this was a mistake or a error in the production, but I don't understand this. Like, what the hell happened, dude? Like, I don't get it. So I do love this album version, but the single version, even if it has worse quality overall and the vocals aren't so low, it's still way better mixed. It's like more balanced, and I love the fact that the bassist has at least one moment to shine on the original version, the single one, and I love that in the original single version the lyrics are much easier to understand. You don't have to read them because you know what the guy is growling, and on this new version it's very hard to understand all of that. Also, I am not sure if only the single version has that children part where the three voices at the same time are saying that, or that part is also on the album version. It's hard for me to remember because, to be quite honest, 99% of the time I'm always listening to the single version, like on my version of the album, because I got the MP3 version which I bought. I've rearranged the tracks, so like Hollow Planet and the Overseer on my version of the album are the single versions, and the album versions are after the final track, and I almost barely listen to them, like almost not at all, because why? Just why, you know, when the single version is better. So yeah, Overseer is 10 out of 10, but the single version is 11 out of 10. Next track, Control. This one has amazing atmospheric guitar riffs, very melodic, very soothing, very memorable. Besides that, the vocals slap, the breakdowns are fantastic, another highlight of this album for sure. 11 out of 10. And the final song, Faith Collapsing. Now this is my third favorite track on this record. I just love the intro, the melodies in the background, the drumming is fantastic, the vocals, and how we get something along the lines of a breakdown, you know, with that very cool part of I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It's like before the first minute of the song. I don't remember the lyrics, but I remember that the vocals are just perfect in that part, and the drumming, the guitar riffs, and the melodies in the background. So again, there are lots of layers on every song on this album, so you have to listen to it more than once to experience and like appreciate the small details that the songs have. This one is a banger. I have nothing else to add because I'm repeating myself all the time. Like, I had nothing to criticize here except the fact that Overseer and Hollow Planet were worse on the album than the single version. So yeah, Faith Collapsing, 11 out of 10. To sum it all up, the consistency is stable and the flow is fitting. Repeatability, yeah, it's a masterpiece. I love this record from beginning to the end. Sure, it has some flaws. It could have been legendary if the two tracks, Hollow Planet and Overseer, weren't like damaged or something, because again, there are some missing parts in those versions compared to the single versions, and also there's no build up with the bass on the Overseer that happens on the single version of the song. So yeah, those are the only things I can criticize here. The rest of the songs are just perfect the way they are. I wouldn't change a single thing. If you like deathcore music and for some reason you haven't listened to this album, then it's time to give it a shot, because it's one of the more memorable ones, especially because of the very cool atmospheric guitar parts, the crazy breakdowns, the very consistent quality of the vocals. Like, the vocalist is always on point, he never disappoints. And yeah, the drumming is also fantastic. Go and celebrate the anniversary of the record by listening to it today. It deserves your love and attention. That's all from me. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram, links in the description. Also consider becoming a Patreon or a YouTube member so you can support me so I can do more of these videos. That's all. Bye.